Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday. It is the 17th day of August 2021. I hope you're healthy today and that you're COVID free. I hope your family is also healthy and COVID free and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, and health are being met. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, trying to save lives. Blessings upon those also who pick up garbage for us, keep our places clean. Blessings upon those that make deliveries, unsung heroes that work for our convenience. Double blessings on those that are trying to deliver boys and girls, men and women and children from sex slave, human trafficking operations, prostitution, including child prostitution, child pornography, pedophilia, and child molestation that is going on in millions of households in the United States and around the world. Double curses on those that support these industries and do these things. Finally, blessings upon those that are trying to help the homeless. 600,000 people in the United States, millions around the world, including now thousands in Haiti due to the recent earthquake. Blessings upon those that are trying to help and on them themselves, for theirs is the kingdom. Last night was the final basketball game of the summer for our New York Knicks. I have to say, this has been the best summer league that I've ever seen for the New York Knicks. It's the best one that I can remember ever seeing for the New York Knicks. That includes any summer league, whether it included Patrick Ewing or Allen. Well, Allen used to never play summer league for us, but anybody that they drafted that was in the summer league. This is the best one. And it's the best one for a number of reasons. Number one, this draft is the deepest draft that I have seen in the last 10 years at least. It rivals the 96 draft. The last two drafts have been very good, but this one is the top. This one takes the cake even from last year's draft, which was a very good draft last year. So the talent level in the summer league, which included last year's draftees as well as this year's draftees, was to me at an all-time high. Very talented summer league this year. And then, of course, you had the players coming from overseas in Europe. Some of them American players that have been playing overseas. Some European players that have been playing overseas. And then you have players coming out of the G League. It's very, very competitive summer league. This is, again, probably the most competitive summer league I remember seeing in a very long time because of that. Very competitive summer league. So it brought out the best in all the players, but it's particularly to our New York Knicks. Being that this draft is deep, and I feel definitely this year's draft is deeper than last year's draft, which means there's even more talent in this year's draft than last year's draft. And I bring that up to say, I'm going to say something controversial right now. Deuce McBride is a better basketball player than Emmanuel Quickly. I'm just going to say that right off the top. Deuce McBride. And I'm not saying Emmanuel Quickly's not a good basketball player. He obviously is. But Deuce McBride is a better basketball player. Now, when I say basketball player, I'm not talking about just one aspect of the game. I'm talking about as an overall basketball player. When you're talking about offense, defense, IQ, decision making, he's a better basketball player than Emmanuel Quickly. About a week ago, we saw the Knicks play their first summer league game. And at that game, I said at the time, I want to wait till the summer league plays out before I start to make any judgment about Emmanuel Quickly's ability as a point guard. Well, at the end of the week, I've come to the conclusion myself, he is not a point guard. It's not because he's an attacking point guard and this is the new style. He's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. Okay? He was a shooting guard at Kentucky. He's a shooting guard here. I know he says he's a point guard. That's what he said. But no, he's a shooting guard. And one of to me, the biggest test to me that showed that he is a shooting guard is Obi Toppin. I think it's pretty common knowledge in Knicks Nation. I'm not saying anything y'all don't know if I say Obi Toppin's game is very dependent on a point guard. Right? Very similar to Amari Stoudemire. Amari was the same way. Y'all gotta remember, he played with Steve Nash. Now, MVP 2-time Steve Nash, you gotta give him that respect, whether you believed he was MVP or not. He's a tremendous point guard. Passing point guard. Okay? And Amari played with him during his prime. He also played with Stephon Marbury. Okay? And so he had the opportunity to play with some really good point guards. And then he came to New York and he had Ray Felton playing in the career year, in New York. And so all of that benefited Amari because Amari had good point guards. Now, Obi's the same way. He needs a point guard. Part of his struggle last year was Elfrid Payton because he would run the floor and not get the ball. He would get his man sealed and not get the ball. Okay? And so that's part of the problem he had last year. We saw when Derrick Rose came, I started to call him Amari. All of a sudden, Obi's game expanded. All of a sudden, he was on the map when Derrick Rose came. That's no coincidence. Okay? So, I saw this great contrast between when Obi was playing with Deuce as his point guard and when he was playing with IQ as his point guard. And now, look at stats. And IQ had 7 assists last night. But I'm starting to understand he's holding the ball most of the game. Okay? He really is. And so he's gonna get some assists because he has the ball in his hand most of the time when he's on the floor. And he's on the floor a lot. How many minutes did he play last night? Let me look at this. IQ last night played 29 minutes. So he had the ball in his hands a lot. Okay. Even when he's on the floor with Deuce, he takes over the basketball. He dominates the ball. All right. And so he was 3 of 18 last night, 3 of 14 from 3, 5 of 5. He had 7 assists. He had 6 rebounds. He had a decent all-around game, but he's not a point guard. Obi's game suffered because he was not getting the ball in spots that he wanted, in the time that he wanted, because IQ would oftentimes dribble the ball for most of the 24-second clock. Okay? Sometimes he made something happen out of it. Sometimes he didn't. But the problem with somebody that does that is that the other teammates don't get involved, particularly a guy like an Obi Toppin that needs a point guard to put him in the right spots, to catch him in the right spots. Y'all remember there was a couple of times when the Knicks would come down either on a fast break or in half court and McBride would have an open 3, but he would catch Obi and still get him the ball. Okay. Once for, was an alley-oop dunk, I think, over the weekend. And then once he stopped and then everybody thought he was going to shoot and he shuffled the pass to Obi who was on the low block and he scored. He's always looking, keeping his head up. That's a point guard. Okay. That's a point guard right there. Whereas Emmanuel Quickley is looking to shoot. And if he can't shoot, he's looking to pass out of a shot that he was trying to get. That's the difference. So that what I come to the conclusion at the end of this weekend is, this week's Summer League, is Emmanuel Quickley is playing the role that he's best suited to play as a guard coming off the bench to score. And playing with Derrick Rose, that's the role he should play. I could see that Thibodeau at least has in his mind that, okay, when I got to sit Kemba, I'm going to put IQ at the point. And I know, and Thibodeau does not start rookie point guards. But I also believe Miles McBride is going to push that envelope. He's going to push that envelope because there's a couple of things. Obviously, Miles McBride had one bad game. That was last Friday night. He had a bad game as far as shooting last Friday night when they played Detroit. Okay, he shot the ball bad. That was the only time. Other than that, he has been efficient as I don't know what. And for the most part, Quickley has not been efficient. He's put up numbers, But look, he's shooting the ball 18, 20 times a game. Okay? He's holding the ball most of the time. It was almost like he was a ball hog last night. Okay? It was kind of frustrating to watch. So I think that really the situation, when they get to training camp and they're playing head up, I'm not really concerned that Miles McBride is going to do work on Emmanuel Quickley. I'm not concerned about that. I think Emmanuel Quickley better come prepared. I think he's got a little bit more strutting than playing right now. And I think he better be prepared because McBride's coming for his ass. I mean, I'm just saying. All right. And so, and I think McBride he really, if it wasn't Tom Thibodeau, this kid could start at point guard. He could definitely play behind Kemba Walker. There's no question. Okay. So this is a good dilemma that we have because if you told me before the season, we did not draft a Miles McBride and we just had Emmanuel Quickley and we drafted, let's say, two forwards, right? Let's say we got Grimes and Deuce, McBride, Trey Murphy, or we got McBride and, Jalen Johnson, and you told me we didn't get the Miles McBride. We ended up with just, okay, I had to live with that. Then we were dealing with IQ and we had to live with his quirks. But that's not the case. We drafted a point guard. We drafted a really good point guard. Okay. So at the end of this summer league week, and last night showed, McBride, 7 of 10 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, 4 assists, a steal, 19 points, including a dunk over the midget, over Sharif Cooper. From the standing position. He caught the ball under the basket, just leaped up and dropped the hammer. I mean, I knew the kid was good, okay? But the biggest thing Miles McBride has to do now, I mean, obviously, everybody has places in their game they can get better. But to me right now, for McBride, it's just conditioning. And he's not that he's out of condition, but he's getting ready to play for Tom Thibodeau. So he's got to be in excellent condition. He's got to be ready. And it's going to be his rookie year. Every rookie hits the wall. So he's got to be ready for that rookie wall. Okay. And this is where playing behind the Kemba Walker is going to help him. He's playing behind even, Derrick Rose is going to help him because he's going to not get as many heavy minutes, as he might have got if those guys weren't here. But I'm telling you, he's going to push Tibbs to make decisions that Tibbs wouldn't normally make. Tibbs is probably not going to start him, but I can definitely see him coming right behind Kemba Walker. I can see him doing that oftentimes. Derrick Rose will probably get some starts, when Kemba's sitting, but then it's going to be McBride right behind him. And it's going to be a situation where McBride's probably going to play just as many minutes as the start. He's just not going to start. Okay. But, man, it was so evident. Like, especially I'm watching Obi's game. Obi last night, he was 4 of 12, 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line. He had 9 boards, including 3 offensive, 2 assists, 3 steals. I mean, he had a pretty good all-around game. He was contributing to winning. He was plus 17, but he was not getting the ball on a consistent basis in places he should have gotten the ball. And it caused him to force. He started trying to force stuff to create offense. And, he's not good when he's trying to force stuff. That's why we see a guy needs a point guard. When a guy needs a point guard, it means he just can't create the offense himself. He's not that type of guy. He needs a point guard to get him in position. He needs a point guard that's watching for him in his best spots. That's one of the jobs of a point guard. Our boy IQ wasn't doing that. He just wasn't. Okay. And if you notice, if you watched the game last night, they interviewed Miles McBride after the game. While Miles McBride is doing his interview after the game, something interesting happened. Obi Toppin walks up to him and said, "You the MVP." I don't know if y'all caught that. He didn't say Emmanuel Quickley was the MVP. He didn't say Quentin Grimes was the MVP. He walked up to Miles McBride and said, "You the MVP." What does that mean? He knows where he's getting fed at. He knows. Okay. The big men that run the floor and don't get the ball, they don't like that. Some of y'all can testify. They don't like that. They don't like running the floor and not getting the rock. And now he's in his second year and he's playing in the summer league. He was expecting to get the rock. His boy was gunning though. His boy was gunning. Okay. Yeah, he splashed 3 threes. That's the only 3 shots he hit. Yeah, he got to the line 5 times, man. But you know, I'm expecting better. I'm expecting more. Okay, I'm expecting more. Yeah, he got 7 assists. He could have had 10. He could have had 10 or 12 if he'd been looking for this man the way he's supposed to. Okay? Even Elfrid Payton at least was looking for Julius Randle. You know, he wasn't looking for Obi, but he was at least looking for somebody. You know what I mean? So, I know everybody's going to be hyping IQ, but I'm not as high on that right there. I'm not saying he can't play. I'm not saying Tom Thibodeau still ain't going to start him when Kemba sits. But I'm saying we got a better point guard on our team right now. And I'm saying when you come to the training camp, you better be ready. Because McBride is going to be ready. Okay? And he ain't going to slack on you. That's that. Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes came out the gate 3 points. Kaplow, kaplow, kaplow. 3 points. Right off the gate. Ended the game with 26. And he was 6 of 12 from 3, 10 of 17. Now, he was gunning a little bit too. But look, even with his gunning, 6 of 12 from 3. 50% from the 3-point line. You take that every night. 10 of 17 from the field, almost 60% from the field. You take that every night. And of course, his traditional 6 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block. He's just a winner. Him and McBride both, but when I see Grimes, I see a guy that he's going to do what it takes to win. Okay? I really like his game, man. Now, it's going to be hard to me for him to get minutes this year. It's going to be hard because we know Thibodeau plays a 9 or 10 man rotation. If, as I suspect, Miles McBride forces his way into the rotation just by virtue of his play. 2 rookies. Do you really see 2 rookies in the 10-man rotation? You're talking about, okay, let's go over the starting 5. You're talking about Mitchell Robinson. By the way, Sports Vibe, I think it was called Sports Vibe TV. He had an interview with Mitchell Robinson at the airport. Mitchell Robinson's not in the walking boot. Foot is fine. He's practicing full. He's going to be ready for training camp. And the NBA is going to be in trouble. Very happy about that. So now Mitchell Robinson at the 5. Randall at the 4. RJ at the 3. Evan Fournier at the 2, and of course, Kemba Walker at the point. So behind them, you're going to have Derrick Rose at the point. You can have Emmanuel Quickley behind Evan Fournier at the 2. You can have Alec Burks behind RJ at the 3. You can have Nerlens Noel at the 5. And then, of course, you're going to have Obi Toppin at the 4. Now, what's going to happen after that? Okay, so now you got Kevin Knox. Some of you are already ready to throw Kevin Knox to the trash bin. I ain't ready to do that yet because I ain't seen him. First of all, he's 22 years old. He's still younger than Obi Toppin. He's about the same age as Emmanuel Quickley. He's younger than a lot of the guys that got drafted this year. Okay, so I'm still, and he's on his last year of his rookie deal of $5.8 million. At this point, I'm thinking they keep him and just try to develop him, see what they could get out of him. Because this is the last year of $5.8 million. Unless, the only thing that would change that is if Kevin himself requested a trade. That would change everything. Then he'd be traded. Okay. But so he's going to be, battling for minutes at the 3 with Kevin, with Kevin's battling with, Dwayne Bacon and Quentin Grimes. Also that Grimes is going to be battling for minutes at the 2 with Dwayne Bacon behind Emmanuel Quickley. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a battle. Whoever wins, but the rookies are already at a disadvantage in that Tom Thibodeau doesn't play rookies. He favors veterans, just period. He just favors the veterans. So if it's between, I know y'all going to think trade, but if it's between Dwayne Bacon and Grimes or Kevin and Grimes, it'll probably be going to Kevin because he's at this point the veteran. He's in his 4th season. Okay, so and Tom favors the veterans. I mean, y'all got to remember what he did with Elfrid Payton last year. So he favors veterans, just period, point blank. So I think Kevin's gonna get the first shot to prove he can, get minutes behind. People like to slot him in behind Obi at the 4. He could play the 4, but he's gonna play the 3, and I can see him battling. He's got to battle Alec Burks as well, because Alec Burks' thing is that he could also play the point and he could play the 2. So he's versatile in multiple positions. He's not pigeonholed to 3, whereas Kevin cannot play the 2. He could play the 3 and the 4. And so he's going to be battling for those minutes behind RJ, behind Obi, behind Burks. With Burks, he's going to be battling in those minutes. So because he's the veteran, he's going to get the nod at first. Grimes is going to beat him out, and look, I ain't saying that can't happen, obviously. Grimes he's going to be a problem. So Kevin better come with a motor. He better come ready to play. So this is the year they're trying to see what they could get, but it's going to be harder to me for Grimes, because they're not going to play Kemba 82 games. They're not going to play Rose 82 games. So McBride's going to get some time. He's going to get some time to prove himself. But Grimes is in a tougher spot. The Knicks got a lot of wings now. RJ, Burks, Fournier, Emmanuel Quickly, Dwayne Bacon. They got some wings now. And then, of course, there's Kevin. So, Grimes is going to have an uphill battle trying to get some minutes. But if he, I'm not going to bet against him. So, Grimes really showed himself. He showed out, he can shoot. He can do it all, basically. He's a tremendous defender, high IQ, playmaker. He does it all, man. He really does. So, and he's a strong rebounder from the center, from the 2-guard position. His natural position, though, is 2-guard. He claimed to have played point guard Saturday night, but he wasn't playing point guard. It was Deuce McBride playing the point guard. He claimed he was playing point guard when they interviewed him. It was Deuce McBride playing the point guard. But anyway, he's a 2-guard more than anything. He could play some 3. He could probably play a little 1 if you need him to, but he's really a 2-guard. That's his spot. So yeah, there's that. Jericho Sims, difference maker also. When you saw the difference when they had Travis in there and when they had Sims in there. So you put Sims in there last night. He played 27 minutes. He had 13 boards, 3 on offensive end. He was strong on the boards last night. Hit both his free throws, which is a big thing for him. Not a big free throw shooter. So he only ended up with 6 points, but he was tremendous. They had to fight him off the boards. He's a strong kid. And of course, he used his jumping ability. Really, really good. I don't see him playing on a regular team. He's already signed a 2-way deal, so he can only spend a maximum of 45 days, with the regular team. He's going to spend most of his time in the G League. It's going to be good for him. He's going to get some development. Like I said, I'm looking for him to come back next summer, more confident, even more impactful, and pushing his way into the regular the team next year. So, and then there's MJ Walker, who last night was, played 11 minutes, didn't show much on the stat sheet, but again, he plays a solid game. He plays good defense. He was good last night. At the end of the game, Selden decided to gun, so he was just throwing up threes. He was 4 from 3. Most of that came in the last 2 minutes or less of the game. It was garbage time, and so that is what it is. I don't know what they're gonna do with Selden. I don't think he's gonna play for the Knicks, but whatever. So that's the summer league, and overall, like I said, it benefited Obi the most because he got most of those minutes. He needs a point guard. He got one with Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, Miles McBride. IQ is not the point guard. Obi's not going to benefit when IQ is the point guard. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's not going to be the beneficiary, okay, when IQ is the point guard. Randall might, but not Obi. Not the way he should, okay? So, yeah, there's that. We know that Rokas Jokubaitis is now back in Europe, and he's going to be playing in Barcelona. I don't think Luka Vildoza is going to remain on the team. They're not going to, somebody say, well, why don't he go to the G League? Because they would have to pay him $3.3 million to play in the G League. G League players don't make that kind of money. Okay, G League players are generally guys that you're trying. If Kevin Knox is in the G League because he's a lottery pick, okay, you developing him. Or most times a G League player like Jericho Sims, they're going to get between 250,000 and $1.5 million. They pay Iggy like $1.5 million in the G League. But they're not paying the guy $3 million in the G League. I don't think so. And at age 26, no, I don't think he's going to be here. I think he's going to go back. They probably keep his rights, send him back to Europe, and maybe he plays next year. Try again. But yeah, I don't see him being on the regular roster this year, especially now that they've signed Dwayne Bacon as well. So that's that. That's that for that. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting training camp. The Knicks had a very successful summer league. As I said, it was a very talented summer league overall. Just a lot of talent was in the summer league this year. And you're not going to see that, from this point. I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. You're going to get a bunch of 18-year-olds coming into the draft from now on, right? People coming right out of high school or coming out of high school to the G League. You're going to see some of them pop. You're going to see like a Jalen Green type that pops, or a Jonathan Kuminga, or like a Kevin Garnett. Some of them that are coming out of high school that actually turn into some really players, and you're going to see a lot of wasted careers. And then you're going to see a lot of role players that are more mature, guys that go to college, guys that play 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in college, and they're going to be more solid role players. And you're going to get every once in a while, you're going to find some, and that's what everybody's looking for when you get these 18-year-olds, somebody that's going to pop as a diamond, like a big time player, like a Jalen Green, all right? Or even, Cade Cunningham, if that happens, something like that. Or LeBron, who was 18 when he came in the league, or Kevin Garnett, who was 18 when he came in the league. But those are not the norm. Those are special players, as you will see. It's not like normal you're going to get regular role players coming in at 18. That does happen. Like J.R. Smith came in at 18, right? And he was a role player for most of his career, 6 man a year one time. And so did Lou Williams. He came in the league at 18. But you don't see a lot of role players like that. So you're going to see a lot of busts, is what I'm saying. And you're going to see a lot of boom popping stars and then busts. So that's what's going to happen. And in your second round, you're going to see a lot of nice role players that play solid roles, that are smart, that are mature. You're going to see that as well. Then there's going to be the 18-year-old that's just an immature kid, and he's going to have a lot of talent, and he's going to give people problems. There's that too. So, like a Marvin Barnes from back in the day, or Richardson, we used to have on the Knicks. You're going to see a lot of that as well. So it's not going to be the same. I don't know when we're going to have a summer league like this again. This was really good. So enjoy it, Knicks Nation. This is good. So going forward, I'm thinking again, Knicks are top 6 in the East. I'm being conservative when I say that. They can easily be higher. Okay, they can be higher than that. They can go up to 3. They could. We don't know. But they're top 6. They're a top 6 team in the Eastern Conference right now. There's a lot of teams that got better. I'm not worried about none of them. They got to worry about us. The Knicks really they're stacked. The Knicks are stacked right now. Stacked at every position. And they got a tremendous coach. They got tremendous coaching on the bench as well. They got the right culture established. Front office is tight. No need for any more trades. Some of y'all are like a guy that's in Las Vegas that's just destined to lose his money. Like, in other words, you just came in, you hit the slot machine, and you keep gambling until you ain't got nothing left. And then you lose your money. You always got to keep making deals. Deals got to come. You can't just walk out when you're ahead. That's what y'all are. We don't need to make any more trades. We don't need any more trades. Not Miles Turner. Not nobody. We don't need no more trades. None. We need to let this team gel. Let the continuity continue. And let's see what we got. Let's see how far we can roll. Now, at the end of next season, you can evaluate and see if there's something we need. Maybe somebody disappoints, and you might want to, swap them out. Something happens like that. Or somebody, God forbid, gets hurt. That's another thing. But no, you keep the team as it is. Mitchell Robinson is going to probably sign a 4-year, $51 million deal. It's my prediction. Or something in that neighborhood. 4-year, $51 million, maybe 3 years, $40 million, something in that neighborhood. And we're going to lock him up, and that's going to be that. And so we're not worried about Mitchell Robinson. We're not worried about Nerlens Noel. We're not worried about nobody. So I think we're good to go at this point. So let me know what you think. But yeah, let's stop all of the what next trade we can make. There's no trades to make now. Let's focus on our team and let's get ready for the playoffs. Have a good Tuesday. Enjoy it. From this point on, you might not see as many videos from us until training camp starts, unless I'm responding, because this is foolishness season. There's no more basketball being played. You're going to see every trade rumor under the sun with the Knicks. They're going to get LeBron. They're going to get Ingram. They're going to get Zion. They're going to get Dame. They're going to get whatever. I can tell you right now, it's all BS. Okay, unless it comes from the three sources that we know. Okay? Other than that, have a safe Tuesday. Shalom.